Alright, Dead Space 1 remake, it's finally happening. EA is pulling out like the biggest guns they ever had, trying not to become the most hated company in the world. That award is probably going to go to Blizzard this year, so GG's. What they unveiled yesterday, today, whatever time of the day it is for you, is the Dead Space 1 remake teaser, which looks a lot like Dead Space 1 original teaser. The twinkle twinkle little star lullaby, the flashing images of, you know, meat. But what's most interesting about this is that IGN just recently published a conversation with the Dead Space remake development team, and they talk about like what this game is and what it isn't. And I want to go through these statements, because I think if all of these are true, you should get very, very hyped. So let's jump into this. First of all, here are the things that you can expect this game not to be. And that's an up-resed remaster kind of thing. They're not doing that. They're not doing any like facelifting, like, you know, Mass Effect. To be fair, the Mass Effect trilogy did do more than that, but this is not what it is, okay? Now, is it a sequel? No, it's not a sequel. So don't expect that trilogy to be continued into, well, Isaac's trilogy to be continued in any shape or form. What is it then, you ask? Well, it seems to be something more akin to the Resident Evil 2 remake. There was some kind of inside information quoted by Video Games Chronicle that stated that EA's been looking into Capcom's success with the Resident Evil remakes, as well as looking into their own success with the Jedi Fallen Order, which had 20 million unique players playing that game. So they were really looking into investing in single-player experiences that are not dragged down by microtransactions. We'll see about that. So this is the kind of path EA is trying to take right now, and what better franchise to resurrect than, well, Dead Space is one of the best survival horror franchises ever. So what they were trying to do is stay true to the experience. They want to take the original ideas of Dead Space 1, but, you know, kind of make them new, make them feel fresh. They want to incorporate later elements, you know. So for example, the zero gravity from Dead Space 2 is probably going to be present in Dead Space 1. To what degree, we will see. But don't think that they're trying to remake the game is as a contained Dead Space 1 experience. They're definitely dragging elements from the future titles into it. Hopefully not too many elements of Dead Space 3, if you ask me, but, you know, that's a whole another topic. So that's what they're kind of trying to do. There's going to be 3D audio technology, so you can hear the creepy whispers all around you and stuff like that. And it's going to be entirely next gen. So while Sony believing in generations is still failing to give us like a true next gen experience, like most games seem to be perfectly able to perform on older consoles, Dead Space remake is going to be one of those true next gen experiences. We'll see how that's going to perform. Obviously, there's in these conversations there are a lot of buzzwords. Whether you know, believe them or not, it's up to you. I kind of choose to do, but not get hyped, you know. Another few like interesting ideas and tidbits that I saw were they're really emphasizing there being no cuts to the camera. So as you remember, Dead Space 1 was one of those games that had I believe almost no cuts, or maybe no cuts whatsoever. So even if you would go into the menus, obviously you would go behind Isaac's shoulder. Even when you step up into the upgrade your suit machine thingy, the camera would just kind of like turn around and just kind of hover there until you're done. Then you would come out of the box. So basically it's all going to be a continuous shot. They're, you know, they're not trying to make the experience like they don't want to disrupt the experience. They want it to, you know, immerse you completely, blah 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 blah, buzzwords. But yeah, it's a continuous shot just like Dead Space 1. Or if you're too young and never played Dead Space 1, it's basically like God of War, the new one, but better. Because as you know, yeah, God of War did have a continuous shot, but they did kind of they messed it up in a few places, especially when it comes to the menus and stuff like that. It's a little weird. So it's not really continuous shot with God of War. Now, they will reference future elements of the story and character arcs. So not only will there be gameplay aspects of Dead Space 2 and 3, but there will be also I guess like hints, you know, I guess like premonition kind of things, you know, maybe visions of later chapters. And I think that's a great idea, because obviously most people playing this game will have some kind of context as to how Isaac's story progresses. So it would be nice to not have this, I've already mentioned that, like a contained Dead Space 1 experience, then a contained Dead Space 2 experience, but like kind of make it more of like a Star Wars trilogy, you know, like bleed things out into each other, not like this is where the story ended the last time, this is where it begins. Well, what else have we got? There are no microtransactions. They're really adamant about that one. We've heard that so many times, and then the microtransactions were later on added. For example, like Crash Nitro Team Racing, CTR, Crash Team Racing, Crash. I think EA have learned from their mistakes. I think they're not going to try to pull something like that anymore, but we'll see. They also promised evolved dismemberment mechanics, so that's going to be interesting. Can I chop off a finger? 4 fingers? Considering they're working with a new engine, like everything you remember Dead Space to be is going to be that and better, according to them. And also a very interesting thing that they've also mentioned, which is again another buzzword, is that they have established a community council who they discuss the game with on I think like on a 3-week basis. So they kind of, I guess they send them the builds, make them play them and discuss them. So these are all people that are very familiar with the franchise, who offer their opinion. And they even stated that EA and even the development team themselves, they were kind of iffy on doing that. They're like, should we, can we? But it ended up working really well, and it actually gives them like this extra push and motivation when things are working, you know, so they get inspired to go, okay, this is the direction that we're gonna take 100%. So that's a cute one. You might think like, well, yeah, you know, so many studios mentioned doing that, you know, like, well, we're constantly talking with our fans and getting user feedback. Feedback is very important to us, you know, the community, we do the community stuff. But wouldn't you love if Capcom did something like that with Resident Evil 3 Remake, ship the build to the people and then go like, yo, this is not Resident Evil 3, this is not, what have you done? And then taking it back and be like, well, okay, let's make it a bit more like Resident Evil 3. That would have been amazing. So the fact that they're doing that might be a really good thing, considering that there are many hardcore Dead Space 1 fans out there. So you're doing God's work, people. And yeah, they're set on making, remaking it as a survival horror experience. So I guess what that means is that it's not going to be Dead Space 3. I'm very excited because in the same period, we got both news of Dead Space 1 Remake, but also a spiritual successor to Dead Space in the form of Callisto Protocol, which is developed by Striking Distance. And is set in the PUBG universe. So at the end of the day, we might get 2 Dead Space. We will get the original franchise remade by a new team and a new franchise made by the original Dead Space team. So it's, it's a win-win situation. We're all gonna win. So what do you think about this? Are you excited? You know what a stupid question. I think you are excited. If you're watching this, you probably looked for Dead Space news. Do you have any concerns about this? And do you believe that this will be a trilogy or like a one-off kind of thing? Like, that's what I'm really curious about. Like, do you think they're actually adamant on revamping the entire franchise, going like, okay, let's just go full blast, single story campaign, Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2, Dead Space 3, potential spin-offs, or if it's like a one-time kind of thing? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this type of news, please like and subscribe, maybe share, I don't know, do anything. And I stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Go follow that if you're into that. I'll be playing Dead Space 1. I'll be streaming it because I haven't played it in a long time. So yeah, see you around.